Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
What is the ruling of men growing their beards?
Very good question. And one of the things that people don't ask about anymore. And the answer for this, after saying Bismillah, alhamdulillah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, growing the beard is part of the way of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And many ulama have mentioned there is a consensus, ijma', agreed upon between all the Muslim scholars that shaving the beard completely is haram. And among the one who mentioned ijma', Ibn Hazm rahimahullah, Abu al-Hasan Qattan al-Maliki, and several scholars have mentioned that. It is the standard position in the four madhab. There is maybe in some of the madhab some opinions, but the standard, the majority of the fuqaha in the four madhab agreed upon that it's forbidden to shave the beard. Shave it completely. And that means having a beard is must upon men, wajib. And some of the ulama, rahimahullah, might use the word karaha, yukraha or kada, dislike. But I just want to make sure that if somebody tried to bring that argument, many of the scholars of the past use the word yukrah and they mean yahrum. They said karah, makruh, but they mean haram, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the word makruh to refer to what is haram. After He mentioned major sins, قال كل ذلك كان سيئه عند ربك مكروها. All this is makruh, and these are major sins. Okay?
Yeah.
So
makruh here means the literal meaning of the word, which is
hated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Not the terminology.
The terminology for the fuqaha, rahimahullah. So some of the early scholars use it in a general sense, in linguistic sense.
Right.
I'm just saying this because some people said, oh, so-and-so said it's makruh. Not necessarily they're referring to the makruh that we're talking about here. Yes, some later on fuqaha said that based on these statements from the early ones. But this opinion is very weak. And the correct opinion, it's haram. And I'm talking about shaving it completely. So how much of a beard a man must have? That's where there is a khilaf between the fuqaha. Yes. And first of all, let's see what the Prophet's beard looked like. Hadith ibn Umar wa Jabir and others, كان كثيف اللحية. His beard was thick. And in Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam has a lot of hair in his face, facial hair. In Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his beard was filling his face sallallahu alaihi wasallam and covering his neck, reach all the way to his chest sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he is in the camel leaning forward, his beard long enough to touch the
hump of the camel.
The hump of the camel.
Yes.
So that means it's not a short. It's not a 2-inch or 1 inch or level 1 or level 2, in the machine. But that's if you want to look at how the Prophet beard. Also the Sahaba radiallahu anhum arda. Same thing. Their beard were long. If it is by nature long, that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them. Ali radiallahu anhu has a big beard, goes from covered almost his entire chest area, is wide and long. But not every companion's like this.
Yes.
So, in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam never was reported from him or the companions to cut the beard. Even though he said, cut the mustache. Uhfu shawarib. He ordered us to cut and not to make the mustache grow long. Versus the beard, he said, أعفوا اللحى, أرخوا اللحى, كثروا اللحى, وفروا اللحى.
Yes.
So many wordings that all these words means the person must have a hair, a good amount of beard, a hair in his beard, a big beard or a hair in his face. طيب. Also Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Imam Malik was asked, if somebody has a beard and going left and right, and can I trim it a little bit to make it equal? Not to be sha'tha, messy. He said, yes, it is allowed. And in Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam قال من كان له شعر فليكرمه. If you grow hair, take care of it. So you can put oil in it, you take care of it. If you grow a beard and it looks so messy and look that, ugly and not ugly, like messy, and you didn't take care of it, that's not correct. But if there is a sticking couple of hair here and you just trim it, that's fine. I do believe that what take you out of the haram by agreement is to have some facial hair, even if it's a small amount, okay, of hair, even if it's part of the beard. What is the beard first, Sheikh? The beard is the hair that grows on the face. Not the face, that grow on the bones of your jars.
اللحيين, yeah.
Yeah, اللحيين. So that bone from this side here and all the way down to where they meet. This bone, that's called al-lahi. And
So
this,
basically it's the jaw.
the jar,
The jawbone.
the jawbone.
Yeah.
And also, it is what's in the face because, and what's face? Face is what you face people with. الوجه ما تواجه به الناس. So that's why العلماء رحمه الله said it include the hair in the cheek, okay? And this part which is underneath the العنفقة, underneath the lip. And also they said it is the this part of your
Chin.
face, the chin. So the hair that grows here. So that means the hair that grow in your neck is not part of the beard. The hair that grows underneath your, in the bottom part of your mouth is not part of the beard. Okay? But in Nabi Sallallahu never was reported that he will cut that. He will leave it to grow completely. But just I'm trying to define what's the beard that must, it's haram to be shaved completely.
Right.
طيب. Now, if you want the sunnah is to leave that part completely. And if you just, then some of the ulama said to leave any part of that, okay, without being obviously weird, like somebody just have a line here and shave everything else, that's become like unacceptable and like karibas shuhra. It's like some make you look كالقزع. It's just something wrong and ugly and not right. That's not right. But I'm talking about if somebody grow best this part and shave the rest or trim the breast. I don't believe he's in haram area, a clear haram. Not me, according to many of the fuqaha, will say he fulfilled part of the wajib. Some said no, he should have the beard and all his, in the sides and in the middle here. Even if it's short, it's fine. At least he fulfilled the obligations. Why? They said because when the Nabi Sallallahu ordered us to do something, we only required to do the minimum of it.
As an obligation.
As an obligation. And after that, anything beyond the minimum is volunteer. For example, the Prophet ﷺ said when you come to the masjid, pray before you sit down. What's the minimum amount of pray? 2 rak'ah.
Right.
Not one that's witr, different. 2 rak'ah. So if you pray 2 rak'ah, it's sufficient. But if I pray 4, that's fine. Jazakallah khair, more ajr, inshallah.
Right.
But the minimum is 2. So Nabi Sallallahu said, give something as a sadaqah. If you give even 1 penny, that you fulfilled the obligations. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
For example, udhkurullah, mention Allah. So if you said only subhanallah, it's enough. Allah, you fulfill the obligation. You see what I'm saying? But beyond that is recommended. So he said, what's the minimum of the lihya is enough. Beyond that is recommended.
Right.
But I lean toward another opinion, which is the obligation is just not to have a beard. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال وفروا أرخوا أطلقوا. He ordered us to have a big beard. Not a small, not just a beard. In the hadith, he talked about having a big beard, a well-distinguished beard. So that's for me, you have to have what it is recognized as
a beard.
Not a complete beard, but at least as a beard that is has a lot of hair.
Yes, you can call it a beard. Whereas some people who didn't shave for 2 days, can you say that they have a beard? Because some people have.
But I'm not going to get into that linguistic, but the person talk about someone who have a good amount of hair in their face. So the minimum requirement is to have a good amount. I'm not going to tell you it is 3 inches or 4 inches, but when you see it, that's have a good beard. I might trim it a little bit more, I might do it, but still when you see it, this man have a full growing beard, we call him. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think the obligation is. But majority said, no, the obligation is just a beard of the fuqaha rahimahullah. So in any case, I would say that the man should care to have a beard. But if you have why there's so much emphasis on this? One, because if you shave all the time, that's a sin that you do daily. That's a sin that openly you practice. And you have no shame of it. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's a sin also that you're insisting in doing. And there is a hadith in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, saw men shaving their beard completely and their mustache was thick, and he turned his face away. He couldn't even look at them. They're from Ahl al-Kitab.
From the Persians, I think.
Yeah, so in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you don't want him to look at you this way in the Day of Judgment. You want to look at you and be proud of how you look. You follow his Sunnah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You know, it's so weird, Sheikh. These days, a full beard became a trendy thing.
Yeah.
There's so much business and industry behind it, and like among Muslim and non-Muslim. I know it became the cool thing. I feel so bad for the people doing it because of the cool thing.
Right.
The cool thing is to be like Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Is to follow the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And by the way, following the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, it doesn't mean necessarily to have a beard like him, but no, to fulfill his order. Because I might not grow as beard as big. Some of the ulama rahimahullah, in their biography, they have no beard at all. It's not because they shave, it doesn't grow. They just couple of hair here and there.
His beard
very small.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't grow. They don't have a facial hair. You know, some ethnic groups, they don't have a beard. I have a lot of great scholars, like from Asian part, certain part of Asia. They don't grow any hair much. Are these people khilaf as-sunnah? No. It just happened to be this how they look like. And they don't need to take medication to make it grow or to put an artificial thing. No, there is nobody ever said that. The sunnah is to do what the Prophet ﷺ asked you to do. And people do one of the weird things I get to know. Some people shave their beard because they want it to grow more or softer. I don't think scientifically any proof it will grow softer or anything like that. You know, and you're not supposed to make it longer or don't shave it. Shaving is not allowed in Islam. Mm-hmm. You know, don't do something haram just because you want to achieve maximum sunnah, like a long soft beard. I don't know that even I can call it sunnah, but that's not allowed. That doesn't justify for you to shave your beard. You only allowed to shave it in cases and circumstances where you must have to do that, like certain professions and certain, it's not safe to go to certain places with a beard. That's a different case we talk about. I will end with this, Sheikh. Somebody once told me, why you talk about this? Why is it so important to talk about beard and ask about this? I said, first of all, I don't talk about it all the time. You know? Somebody was like, oh, you have nothing to for the Muslim in Gaza are dying and the Muslim in Pakistan are this happening in India happening to them and Kashmir and China and people went to the moon and you guys just talk about beard. First of all, we don't talk about beard all the time. That's not everything we talk about. Two, it's part of our religion. Yes, in our religion there is things are important and more important, but we don't have anything in our religion that's not important.
Right, you're right.
And in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam talk about this subject multiple times. Also, they have Badr and they have Uhud and they have the Treaty of Al-Hudaybiyah and they have the occupation and of Mecca and all all the things that happening during the Prophet ﷺ time. Still the ulama talked about this. The books of fiqh and hadith that written in the time of the Crusaders and the time of the Mughal included the hadith and the rules related about this issue. They didn't say because of the political situation or economic situation or social issues
that's a very good point.
to be dismissed. That's just wrong. And if somebody, his full life and whole focus is about the beard and this, and he judge people based on the length of their beard, that's wrong too. And I said, he said, يعني Walid, you solve all the problem in the world, and now the only thing left is my beard? I said, Ya Habibi, if I cannot solve all the problems of the world, and I can solve your beard, I'm happy. You know, if at least I solve one, you know, no matter how small it is. I'm just also being sarcastic because he's being sarcastic. But I'm just, he's a friend, so I don't have a problem with that. So I told him, Ya Habibna, at least I'm just giving you advice. I'm not saying anything. I'm just telling you, you asked me about the ruling, and I told you about what the ruling is. You know, you asked me, and I have to tell you the truth. And this part of the deen. And there is ijma' ala hurmat halq al-liha. There is ijma' that this is sin. At least I fulfill my role and my duty to tell you the rules. Beyond that, it's up to you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.
Yes. I mean, the issue of we have to put our life on hold because there are so many major things in the world. These major things in the world may never be resolved for decades.
In our lifetime.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that we just have to
abandon
everything.
I agree with the concept that is important and less important, but you have to agree with me, there is nothing not important in our religion.
That's right. Barakallah feek.